Hey everyone, it's Omar here from Thought. I don't know about you, but for me, the Don't Hug Me I'm Scared 6 hype was real. I was up all night waiting for the episode to come out, and it was so worth it. This episode is for me the best one yet, and I really think it does wrap up the story very well. But Becky and Joe promised that by episode 6, all will have been revealed. So let's see what we could figure out about this episode. Let's get Roy into the theory. The episode opens with 3 beds in a room, labeled R, Y, and D for red guy, yellow guy, and duck. As we expect, neither the red guy or the duck are there because in the last 2 episodes, something happened to them. Like all of the episodes, this final episode also seems to start with a theme, this time dreams. The teacher in this episode is a talking lamp. While the yellow guy is trying to sleep, the lamp keeps him awake by claiming that he can't sleep because he doesn't know how to dream. Like in all the cases we've seen so far, the lamp's claims represent the lack of proper guidance shown by the media, and how it's actually counterintuitive. The notepad in the first episode claims to be teaching them how to be creative, but by the end it turns into a lesson on why not to be creative. Similarly, the lamp seems to be trying to help him sleep, but in reality he's causing him to stay awake. The transition from normal children's cartoon to chaotic mess comes very quickly this time around, as from the beginning. The yellow guy is yelling at the lamp to stop from the beginning, so it seems like he's figured out what's going on and he's actively trying to stop it, but he can't. It quickly becomes chaotic as it turns from being about dreams to being about nightmares. The image of the yellow guy sinking is a powerful one, and I think it signifies how he's trapped and stuck in this reality, slowly being overpowered by the constraints of the media. How does oil equal constraints, you ask? It was used to destroy the yellow guy's painting in the first episode, so I really do think it represents the media silencing him and its counterintuitiveness. But then the episode takes a strange turn when it shifts to a scene of the red guy in the real adult world. He's approached by a coworker and told to work with some files, and the red guy talks about how it'd be funny if the file came to life and began to sing and dance. I think this shows that because of the influence of the media on him in the past, he can't fit into normal society anymore. His bit later on stage is further proof of this. When darkness surrounds him after being criticized and booed by his coworkers, this symbolizes his isolation and his lack of connection with the adult world. His constant exposure to these teachers as a child scarred him even when he escaped. He may have escaped, but he still sees random objects talking and dancing, perhaps in a hallucination induced by the memories of his past. Now here's where it gets really interesting. We shift back to the yellow guy in his room, being tortured by the song of the lamp, and then we see the yellow guy on the screen of a machine with many buttons on it. The red guy is at the helm of the machine, and learns that by pressing buttons he could control the media that the yellow guy is exposed to, cycling through old and new teachers. This machine represents the media itself, a huge system of monitoring and controlling the characters. Then Roy reaches towards the red guy slowly. Now it's very easy to assume that Roy is definitively the bad guy because of the scene, and I've been getting loads of comments on my Roy is an evil video saying that the 6th episode proved me wrong, but did it really? Remember how the red guy imagined that a file would sing and talk and dance while talking to his coworker? Well, that file comes up again as a teacher in the yellow guy's room, controlling him and hurting him just as much as all the other teachers. We already went over how the red guy came up with the idea of a talking file because he himself was scarred by the media which he escaped from, right? So how do we know that Roy himself didn't come up with the ideas for the teachers with which he ruined the lives of the 3 puppets, because he himself was scarred by the media as a child as well? Why is he reaching so slowly? If he had actually wanted to stop the red guy from pulling the plug and ending the harmful effects of the media, wouldn't he have gone a little faster? Yes, he is responsible for the media and its harmful effects, but it's because he, like the red guy, was exposed to it so much growing up that it isolated him, went into every part of his life, and controlled him. Perhaps he is just one chain in a cycle. Perhaps he was a puppet too, being tortured by the media and escaped into the real world, but was so controlled by the media that he went back into it like the red guy did. And I think the reason the red guy didn't follow Roy's path was seeing the pain on the yellow guy's face and seeing how Roy ended up when he took that path. So the red guy pulled the plug on the media machine, and then something strange happened. The entire series started over as if the red guy didn't change anything. My first perception of this was that even though the red guy pulled the plug on the control of the media over the red guy, he didn't end it for anyone. And the next day, June 20th, just continued like it always did. But then I realized, why did the characters have different color schemes? We saw that the adult world was full of people of the same color as the red guy. Why would this group be different? Because the red guy really did end the media, or at least the harmful version of it that Roy was running. Notice the colors of the three characters. They match their favorite colors as stated in the first episode of the series. This means that even though the notepad was still there, it still was not giving the puppets mixed messages as before, and it was truly encouraging them to be creative by embracing their uniqueness and their favorite colors without being told which colors to like and which ones to not like. This leads me to believe that the red guy must have started a new media center where these ideals are held up in order to make the lives of the next group of characters better than his was. There are still some questions though. What happened to the duck? Well, we saw him flash out of existence in the episode, so I think he really is dead. And what does June 19th mean?
That's a tricky one.
On June 19th, 1934, the FCC was established here in the US. This is still shaky because Becky and Joe aren't actually Americans, but I still think it would make sense because the FCC is very important. It is the Federal Communications Commission, which regulates radio, satellite, and you guessed it, television. The end of June 19th and the start of a new day represents the end of the current age of television and the beginning of a new one. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Thought. If you liked it, please leave a like, a comment below, and subscribe. Let me know what your theories are. Let me know what you think about the episode and what you think this episode has to do with the series as a whole. I'm going to be making a video next week talking about the series as a whole as it is so far, and I think you should subscribe to tune in and see that. Before we close, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Samuel Jealous, who made all the graphics of all the minimalist graphics you saw of the Don't Hug Me I'm Scared characters that I used throughout this theory. I asked him for permission to use his graphics in my video, and he agreed to it. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that you could check out all his other work in the description below in his DeviantArt, and you should definitely go do that. A second thing, a quick shout out to my brother who's starting his own YouTube channel where he mashes together different creatives in an art collective called Creative Impulses. The stuff over there is really cool, so if you want to go check it out, there's a link in the description and you could check all that out. Thank you for watching, and see you next Sunday.